rampant inflation. An inflation problem in which we've never seen before in this country. It's going to be much, much worse than what we've experienced the last couple of years. I know that goes against what Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell and some of the other experts are saying. They're saying that they're going to bring inflation down to 2 to 3%. I don't see that happening anywhere close. I think that they're going to start to admit that we're in double-digit inflation in the next 12 months. And here's why I think that is going to happen. I believe we're going to see more and more bank failures, left, right, and center. It's not just going to be in America, but we're already seeing it, Credit Suisse, we're seeing it in Europe, we're seeing it all over. They're talking about all of these different currency crises and banking problems. Look at Japan, look at the inflationary problem. It's in Turkey, in Argentina, in Sri Lanka, all these different places, Lebanon, all these different places, they're having problems. What we're going to start to see is a massive, massive societal shift that's going to occur. We're going to see the middle class get completely eroded. So if you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, this is really a good chance to kind of pull back, to reassess, look at what's happening, pay very, very close attention, and to position yourself accordingly. Because I think we're in the greatest wealth transfer that we will ever be in our lifetimes, and this is important to do. You pull back, reassess, and then find out what the best plan of action is over the next 12 to 24 months. And if you do it, I think you're going to be okay. You're going to make a lot of money and things will be fine. If you don't do it, I think it could be a world of regret. So I'm going to walk through what's going on. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people about what's really going on. And today's video is sponsored by my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. We help people get out of high interest credit card debt by fixing their credit so that they can qualify for balance transfers. Right now, there's still a lot of different credit card companies and banks offering these introductory offers to transfer high interest credit card debt for between 6 and 21 months at 0%. So it's a great opportunity for people to get out of debt. And I think we're going to be stepping into an opportunity to buy distressed real estate. So if you think we could help you, we would love to be a part of that at GreatCreditFast.com, 561-430-5900. Take a look at this. So the last 48 hours, $300 billion they just added to the balance sheet. And they're talking about a $2 trillion backstop. I mentioned this before, that they're talking about, the Fed's talking about adding another $1.7 trillion on top of the $300 billion to the banking system. Now, what is that likely going to do? Well, that's going to be severely inflationary. And so as they're adding all of this new fiat currency into the system, that's going to mean that our fiat currency is going to be worth less and less and less. It's going to buy less items, services, goods. And as that is happening, they're going to continue to increase interest rates, meaning the cost to service existing debt is going to get much more expensive. Think business loans, think credit cards, adjusted rate mortgages, home equity lines of credit, auto loans, student loans. Everything is going to get more expensive, meaning that there's going to likely be more and more people defaulting on past obligations, which is going to put more stress onto the banking system, which is then going to require more money, right? And so as this is all happening, we're looking at what's going on, for example, in a place like Switzerland. They're talking about right here, by the time her testimony was over, another major institution, First Republic Bank, received an emergency infusion of $30 billion, right, from 11 banks, according to the Treasury. And in Europe, hours earlier, Credit Suisse, Switzerland's second largest lender, got a promise from the Swiss Central Bank of a loan up to 50 billion francs, 54 billion US dollars. Now, Janet Yellen saying that she offered upbeat reassurances. Well, Janet Yellen has been offering assurances for the last 2 years, and that has done very little to assure the American people. American people are more nervous and concerned about what the future is going to look like than they have been in the past. And as we continue to move into these policies, we can already see the cracks below our feet. It says banks are running scared. Is the Federal Reserve about to make things worse? Well, the Federal Reserve, if they continue to increase interest rates, things are going to get a lot worse. And if they don't, things are going to get a lot worse. There is no easy way out. We're going to be stepping into this really, really big problem, and it's already quite evident of what this is going to look like. Auto loan delinquencies reached the highest rate since 2010, and 5 million households are behind on rent. So you think about how this plays out for an everyday landlord. You have people that are behind on their credit cards, people that are behind on their auto loans, people that are behind on their rent. Once these auto repossessions start to take place, how are people going to get to work to pay rent, right? I believe there's going to be massive opportunity in real estate. I really do. I think there's going to be huge, huge opportunities in real estate. But this is something that is, I think, very clear, very evident as to what's happening to the lower income bracket. So low income Americans face a hunger cliff as SNAP benefits are cut. This just came out. It says Gina Milton is facing a dilemma. Like millions of other Americans, Milton and her family relied on food assistance benefits boosted by Congress to help them through the pandemic. Now that extra cash is gone, the reduction has hit them hard. 3 of her family members are disabled, and one of her daughters works to take care of them, right? So there's around 42 million Americans are currently enrolled in this program. 42 million Americans. You have 350 million, 330 million Americans. You do the math on that. That is a substantial figure. To put that into context, when they start to reduce these benefits, what is that going to do to shoplifting? What is that going to do to crime? Obviously, people want to survive, and they'll do what they have to do to survive. You're already starting to see it. A lot of big cities, they're seeing Walgreens, CVS's closing down. I think they just start closing down Targets in Philly. They're doing things because theft is getting out of control. Wait until this really starts to pick up. So Congress increased SNAP benefits in response to the pandemic in March of 2020. The last extra payments were out at the end of February. So this just ended. The remaining 32 states that are still issuing them, in addition to the District of Columbia, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, the emergency allotments were authorized in tandem with the emergency declaration in March of 2022. But in December 2022, Congress passed a new law to end the allotments. The lapse in the additional benefits will reduce SNAP allotments for the average recipient by $90 a month, with some households losing $250 a month. Older adults at a minimum benefit will see their monthly SNAP benefits drop from $281 a month to $23 a month. $23 a month. We're going to start to see a lot of people that were, on these programs, that were planning on retiring, that saved up their whole life. They put money away in their 401k, their pension. Now that money is getting, completely devastated in the markets, and they're kind of running out of options. They're going to start renting out their homes. They're going to try to sell their homes if they can. People are going to be pushed into a very, very desperate place if they're not prepared with what's happening. As that's happening, 20 million Americans are behind on utility bills, and they're running out this new FedNow service. Now this FedNow service, they're talking about how this can offer direct relief to consumers and how this would change things. The sender would send things to a financial institution, and then FedNow in between the financial institution and the receiver. So this is big. Like we're stepping into something big. Meanwhile, gold is going through the roof. Why is that? Why is that? To me, that is a vote by the American people, by people all over the world, that fiat currency is in trouble and that the economy is in very big trouble and that they're leaning into a safe haven, such as precious metals. And they're doing this because they have more faith in that currency, that store of value that's been around for 4,000 or 5,000 years, than they do in the way in which the world's being run right now. This is some pretty crazy times. I believe what we're going to start to see is going to be incredible opportunities to invest in real estate, opportunities to grow and scale a business if you're in the right business. There's going to be, sure, a lot of businesses that are negatively impacted, definitely, but there's going to be other businesses that are going to flourish, just like all cycles. There's, in some cycles, certain industries boom, in other cycles, they get wiped away. We're going to be stepping into a really, really big moment where some industries will boom, so you want to make sure you're positioned in one of those. You want to make sure you're out of high-interest credit card debt, and you're going to be able to weather this storm. I believe that what we're going to start to see is rents really start to come down in a very, very big way. You think about what's happening right now in real estate and how this all kind of ties together. So in an inflationary environment, what does that mean? It means the cost of everything, your dollars buy less, meaning that if you have a property and you're insuring that property and the cost of materials are going through the roof, that will likely mean that it's going to be reflective in your insurance policy, meaning that you're going to pay more for insurance. So if you're paying more for insurance, more for utility bills, more for property taxes, and then the quality of life in America is getting eroded, what's ultimately going to happen? People are going to get priced out of their homes. And then as that is happening, 1.7 million new units are being built by developers for rent. And you're going to have all these people right now, you're already hearing about the layoffs. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to start renting out their homes because they don't have the equity in them to sell, because 40% of all mortgages in America were taken out between 2020 and 2022. So you have all these people that are upside down on their properties, they can't afford their properties, that are going to have to rent out their properties. There's going to be a massive supply of rentals. The rent values are obviously going to be coming down. And with that, you're going to have a lot of distressed opportunities. So if you're looking to invest in real estate, I think the next 12 to 24 months is probably going to be a great time to do it. big changes coming. What do you think about this entire situation? How do you see this whole thing playing out? Inflation, again, I think is going to be undeniably a multiple of this 6% that they're claiming now in 2023, end of 2023, 2024, because they're going to print money. They're going to continue to print money. There's no way they turn the printers off at this juncture. This is just the beginning. Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. Hit the like button, subscribe here. I know my second channel, and Instagram for short form content. And again, if you need help fixing your credit, we would love to help you at greatcreditfast.com. greatcreditfast.com. This, I believe, is probably the most important thing that people should be doing right now if they have bad credit. The reason for this, they have bad credit and they have, credit card debt, they're in a bad situation. The amount of interest you pay on just like a $5,000 balance, making the minimum payments, you're probably paying $200 to $300 a month in just interest. And every time they increase interest rates, it's more and more money that you'll owe because of these interest payments. So if you need help fixing your credit, we would love to help you at greatcreditfast.com. Massive investing opportunities, I believe, right around the corner. And so call us, 561-430-5900, and I'll catch you guys then.
What is your profession?
The adversary of this world are ready to die to take away our freedom. Chronicle Nation, what is your profession? What is your profession?